Hello and thank you for joining me today. It's here, the Vostok Amphibian SE710B44S Icebreaker. What is the icebreaker? An icebreaker is a special purpose ship or boat designed to move and navigate through ice-covered waters and provide safe waterways for other boats and ships. For a ship to be considered an icebreaker, it requires 3 traits most normal ships lack: a strengthened hull, an ice-clearing shape, and the power to push through sea ice. I absolutely love that. Great to have this story to tie in with a robust timepiece like this. Whilst briefly looking at this, I found nuclear-powered icebreakers add to the tie-in. The only country constructing a nuclear-powered icebreaker is Russia. Nuclear-powered icebreakers have been constructed by the Soviet Union and later Russia primarily to aid shipping along the northern sea route in the frozen Arctic waterways north of Siberia. Nuclear-powered icebreakers are much more powerful than the diesel counterparts, and although nuclear propulsion is expensive to install and maintain, very heavy fuel demands and limitations on range, compounded with difficulty of refueling in the Arctic region, can make diesel vessels less practical and economical overall for these icebreaking duties. Well, that's something I didn't know yesterday. One of the main reasons I love Vostok is the case-back technology. In 1967, 2 Russian designers were tasked to create a 200-meter dive watch able to match the Swiss that were around at the time. The same quality machinery the Swiss were using wasn't available to the Russians, so they couldn't provide a copycat design. The Swiss overcame water pressure using precision and brute strength. Essentially, the case-back would be screwed into the back of the watch and compress the O-ring, making a seal. Instead, the case-back of the Vostok watch sits in the back of the watch and on top of the O-ring. And instead of screwing into the O-ring, a separate metal ring is added and turned around the case-back, providing a direct downward pressure to the O-ring, creating a seal. So the more pressure applied to the watch, the more water resistant the watch would become. So the deeper under the water you would travel, the tighter the seal. The thick acrylic crystal would also take advantage of the water pressure to enhance the watch's resistance by sinking slightly into the case under pressure to create a tighter seal also. This would mean that during servicing, you wouldn't have to spend as much money on replacing parts, for instance the seals that would be sheared with regards to the Swiss technology. So overall, this is a great design and something that I don't think gets enough credit. I purchased this watch from Meranon.com. It cost $122 or £88 because of loyalty discounts. Usually it retails at $130 or roughly £95. I mean, let's take a moment. Whether you love or hate Vostok, these prices are amazing. The watch came well packaged, and this website has practically every model, and I believe the chap who runs the website sometimes works with the factory for special edition designs that are exclusive to his own website. And as I mentioned, you do get loyalty discounts the more you buy. The watch is manufactured in the Kristopol Watch Factory, Russia, and comes with a 1-year warranty. These watches are not expected to be serviced for 10 years. It's a very long time compared to most other brands that recommend a service much earlier. 41mm case, 200 meters of water resistance, a silicone strap as well, which is extremely comfortable. The watch has the in-house 31 jewel Vostok 2416B automatic and hand-winding movement. The tolerance is -20 seconds to +60 seconds per day, and totally wound, it won't run for less than 31 hours. Every Vostok I've owned, they've always outperformed this specification and stated tolerance. It's not hackable and doesn't have a quick set date, but there is a hack I can show you now. To change the date quickly, or quicker I should say, you can wind the hour hand back past 12 o'clock and then past 9, and then wind it clockwise past 12 and the date will flick over, as you can see. The icebreaker on the back of the case is a real treat and brings the story home. Looking at the dial, we have applied battens and a framed date window. Useful and legible with the white on black. I personally find I always need a date complication on my watches. This is something I always search for. The dial is spectacular. I'm going to call it burnt orange in colour, with a sunburst effect. The website states it's just orange, but definitely burnt orange to me. The bezel is bi-directional and doesn't click, and this will be fitted to the case with a wire. Of course I'd prefer a bi-directional or a one-way bezel that clicked, but we have to consider the costs here. This watch is outstanding value and I can totally forgive it. I'm used to Vostoks though, so I totally understand how this could put someone off. The bezel on this watch has just the right amount of rigidity, so it does stay in place. I've had a 710 case shape before and I absolutely loved it, and I regretted selling my old 710 SE. This case shape fits my wrist perfectly. It has a vintage aesthetic, and one of the reasons for this is that plastic bezel, if you like, and the domed acrylic glass. The Silicon Tropics strap is so comfortable, and I love all the different holes available for micro adjustments, and I will definitely use these as the temperature changes. Overall, I'm delighted with my purchase. Under £100 for all of this. I love the syringe handsets, and of course they're loomed, along with the bezel, pip on the second hand, and the dots applied in front of the battens. I have to highlight the batten at 12 o'clock, representing the bow of the icebreaker. Overall, I'm delighted with my purchase. All of this for under £100. This Vostok Amphibian SE710 icebreaker is an absolute keeper for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. There'll be more content coming soon.